Hello, I'm Dan.
I'm Simon.
And this is the Wikicast, a podcast where Wikipedia takes us to a random article each week and we talk about what we find. Simon, what are we talking about this week?
This week, Daniel, we're talking about Tecmo Super Bowl 2 Special Edition.
Oh my god. What?
I know.
That sounds amazing.
It looks amazing. I really wish I could read kanji because, like, the title... I mean, obviously there's a translation in English, but just like... Oh, this looks so... It's peak 90s gaming.
Oh my god. What did you say it was called again?
It's called Tecmo Super Bowl 2 Special Edition. And it was released for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System and the Sega Genesis.
The SNES?
Yeah, the SNES.
Amazing.
Interestingly, it's actually listed as the Super NES rather than SNES. But yeah, so it was released for the SNES and the Genesis in 1994, and it was an update of the previous Tecmo Super Bowl, which was released for SNES and Genesis. So this is an American football video game from the 90s, produced by a company called Tecmo, who did the thing that PUBG has done, where they've put the name of the company in the game. In the same way that it's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, it's Tecmo Super Bowl, just to like stamp themselves firmly in that.
Yeah.
So this is 1994 in Japan, released in America in 95, and
Right.
it was a relatively limited release, only 15,000 units being shipped. But a review, GamePro.
That is very, very limited release.
Yeah. In their review of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System version, GamePro commented that, quote, year after year, Tecmo's football games remain popular with players, even though other carts boast better graphics and gameplay. Wow.
Ruthless. Savage there.
Yeah, that's no chill. I mean, they do have, however, nonetheless conclude that the game is, quote, undeniably fun, especially for first-time players. So, as long as you don't know what you're like dealing with, you'll have a good time.
Yeah. As long as it's new.
So for people like us who live in the land of not America, we'd probably love this game because we don't know anything really about American football. I mean, we did go and watch the Super Bowl, which was insane one where, oh God, it was the Patriots came back. Who are they playing? Was it
the Falcons? Atlanta Falcons?
I think it was the Atlanta Falcons, yeah. And then it was one of the...
I say that because
classic
they are
Brady comeback. From like, because we were watching and we were unfortunately getting, well, I say unfortunately, we were getting smashed as we watched the game, so we didn't really appreciate how amazing the comeback at the end was. It was a bit just like, oh, they won, like you know, incredulous rather than absolutely amazed. Considering also it was like 3 a.m. and the campus pub had stayed open, so we were just very tired and quite drunk and just like not really paying attention to one of the most remarkable Super Bowls in history.
Yeah, it was so much fun because I'd never watched a full game before. It was I mean, it's the perfect spectator sport.
Yeah, because I'd seen a few before, and I think I dragged you along to this. So that's implying that you didn't want to go. You did want to go, but like I encouraged you to come, saying it's like the ideal beer drinking sport, which I maintain.
Yeah.
You know, you concentrate for a few seconds at a time, but then you have like a minute to chill and drink, and then you concentrate for a few seconds at a time. Some people will say that like cricket is the ideal beer drinking sport, but I do prefer sports that don't take a literal week to play. Or if you're playing the Ashes, it takes how many weeks? 5 weeks to play. For those of you who don't know about cricket, that's not even a joke. That's literally how long it takes to play a game. I mean, a game of test cricket, that is. There are like shorter versions like 2020 and stuff. Are you a fan of cricket?
I don't mind. I mean, if it's on, I'll stick it on and watch it and kind of just have something in the background. It can be quite fun. Watching 2020 is always better because it's just a faster paced game. But again, faster paced relative to cricket means it's just not kind of crawling along at a snail's pace. It's nothing like American football.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know that a lot of people say American football is like an inferior version of rugby, and it's true. It's a derivative of rugby. I don't really think it's fair to compare the two sports, really.
Yeah. Well, it's much like Australian rules football.
Yeah, it's a derivative of rugby.
Well, I think it's actually closer to Gaelic.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's on an oval pitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's true of Gaelic football. I'm not sure because there's Gaelic football and then there's shinty as well. Are those the same thing? I think shinty might be the Scottish version, maybe. Oh, okay. I'm having to Google this now. we will get back to the actual game Wikipedia article in just a second, because Gaelic football, that's obviously the Irish one, and that's the one I know. Brian from Real Engineering is a big fan of Gaelic football. I'm pretty sure that's the version of football he plays, because he used to play that when he was in Malaysia, and like sometimes on his Twitter, like normally it's all classic science YouTuber stuff, and then every now and again there'll be something to do with Gaelic football, and it's like if you're not paying attention to who's tweeting it, at least I immediately know, based on like the GIF that he's retweeting or something, I immediately know who is responsible for this appearing on my timeline. But yeah, Shinty, it's mainly Shinty is like hockey. I thought it was more like football. Okay. Yeah, Shinty's like an ultra dangerous form. Have you heard of Shinty before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. So it's I'll read you the beginning of this wiki article. Shinty is a team game played with sticks and a ball. Shinty is now played mainly in the Scottish Highlands, but amongst Highland migrants to the big cities of Scotland, and it was formerly more widespread in Scotland. Basically, it's compared to field hockey, but there are several differences. In Shinty, a player is allowed to play the ball in the air and allowed to use both sides of the stick, which is called a kaman, and it's wooden and slanted on both sides. You can use the stick to block and tackle. It's a very physical game. It says, players may tackle using the body as long as it's not shoulder to shoulder. So I know my cousins used to play this in Scotland, and they would like come home with like concussions and like taking sticks to the head. Because if you think about it, like you're playing a game of hockey that's elevated off the ground, so you know, like you're basically just asking for sticks to smash into different people's bodies and heads. Yeah. I was getting it confused with hurling. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Hurling is the Irish version of Shinty.
Did you mean to say that in a vaguely Irish accent there?
Did I say that in a vaguely Irish accent?
Yeah, you're like, hurling is an Irish pastime. And I was like,
it's an Irish pastime. We're insulting. We need to give the Irish more stick, really, because we do well, like a Shinty game, because we do really lay into the Welsh. And we don't really lay into the Scots that much. The Scots are probably our favourite non-English people in the UK, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I must admit, I house a soft spot for the Irish. I think the accent is absolutely just lush.
It makes me melt a little bit. Like the Irish accent is pretty much, it's without a doubt the sexiest accent in the world.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartly.
You just hear it, and it's like you're being tickled on your belly. Like you're like a dog, and you're just there like, oh, don't stop, just keep talking. I actually had an Irish lecturer in my degree who taught me mathematical methods, and he taught everyone else there mathematical methods as well. It wasn't just me. But he opened his mouth at to start speaking at the start of the first lecture, and I went, oh no, it's got an Irish accent and it's really melodic, and I am going to fall asleep in all of these lectures. This is not good.
Oh god.
So obviously that's interesting. Looking at the hurling page, it is described as the fastest field sport in the world.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm not sure what makes it faster than Shinty. I think it might be the fact that there's like a curved edge to the stick, so like when you fling it, it like really flicks it. It actually specifies, there's a whole little paragraph here that says no protective padding is worn by players. A plastic protective helmet with a face guard is mandatory for all age groups, including senior levels as of 2010. The game has been described as a bastion of humility, with player names absent from jerseys and a player's number decided by his position on the field. So it's literally as like bare bones as it gets. Like it's We should totally get into watching this.
Okay, let's do it.
So hurling, because we got onto this because I thought that Aussie rules is played on an oval pitch, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And Gaelic football, I just want because I thought Gaelic is on a rectangular field. I'm completely wrong. I don't think that many things are played on an oval field. Like I know, is polo played on an oval field?
Don't think so.
Is it? Okay. I thought it was. I know cricket obviously is. Like the big one is the oval. Aussie rules definitely is.
The modern sport of polo is played on a grass field of 300 by 160 yards.
Oh, I don't know why. I know that it is the largest field for any sport.
Yes, colossal.
Oh no, there are. There are a few other sports that use ovals. Oh, of course they do. Such as short track speed skating, long track speed skating, and track and field.
I was hoping you were going to say and medium track speed skating.
Yeah, no, that was the fake out one. It'd be like, it's track and field. Of course, that's on anyone who's seen the Olympics. But yeah, apart from that, it's just cricket and Aussie rules football.
There you go.
And baseball. Oh, of course. I was going to say, oh my God, you'll never guess which sport is played on a diamond. And I was like, it's baseball. You idiot. Of course it's baseball.
Yeah.
You're an idiot, Simon. Anyway, we got on to talking about this because we were talking about Tecmo Super Bowl 2 Special Edition. So what do you want to know about this, Dan?
God, I don't know. I mean, was it particularly noteworthy for any reason other than the rave reviews of saying it was especially fun? Was it especially fun for people who've played it for the first time?
For new people.
Yeah,
for people that don't know, not played a game before. I mean, I think the fact that it shipped very few units and it had a pretty lukewarm response is evidence that it's like this is not significant. I mean, yeah. I mean, it was an update of the previous version, so I don't know if that one was really famous or something.
We can buy the cartridge for the SNES. It's going to be $80.74.
Wow,
that's insane.
Well, I suppose because they made so few, I guess.
Yes, so.
I mean, so I'm looking up the wiki for the previous game, which is just Tecmo Super Bowl. Apparently, it was a major success, and although more than 20 years old, it has maintained an extensive cult following.
This isn't the game where you could run away from the referee.
Oh.
I'm just looking at an image of it. I think I've seen videos of this where there was a kind of you could actually just run away without being.
Hang on, I'm going to Google that.
Actually, that's another question. Is there a referee in American football?
Yeah, of course there is. It's the dude in white and black. Who did you think that was?
I don't know. I can't remember a dude being in white and black. I thought it was just like an escaped convict or something.
Oh, it's like, that's the it's like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a hire that you give to somebody. It's like, we're giving them a chance, It's like an outreach hire or something.
It's really hard for him to keep up because he's got a ball and chain around one ankle.
Yeah,
just lugging that up and down the field.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, a lot of sports fans do think they get robbed by the referee. So, I mean, maybe that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Thanks for that response to that joke. I'm really glad that I made it.
It deserves no more recognition than that. I'm sorry.
So the game you were thinking of, I was Googling whilst we were talking, where you could run away from the yellow card, was FIFA 94.
That's it. FIFA 94. Different sport entirely, Dan. Well done. But,
Yep. I mean, it has similar letters in the name. I mean, actually, does it? Does the original article... Yes, the original article does have an A in the title.
Well, there you go.
I mean, to be fair, Tecmo Super Bowl, like, as the original, didn't. So you were nearly completely wrong. But there you go.
God, there you go. What was FIFA 94 played on?
It would have been
PlayStation 1? No, it would have been too
It was definitely PC. Well, I remember you could get FIFA 97 on the PS1. Hang on, PS1, when did it come out? Wow, Google's having to think about this one. Yeah, that was released in 1994. So it might have been... Yeah, that would have been too early, because they normally release the 94 game in 93, don't they? Or it's like dated for a year.
FIFA International Soccer was released in 1993 on the Sega Genesis, SNES, and PC.
Wow. And that's FIFA 94, is it? Or is that different?
Oh my God, it was released on everything. The 3DO, the Commodore, Amiga, MS-DOS, Game Boy, Sega Game Gear, Sega Genesis, Sega CD, Sega Master System, and the SNES. Hellfire.
Wow. They were really scattergunning that one.
Yeah, EA Sports. Challenge everything.
I was going to say it's in a game.
Yeah. It's in a game.
If you're a kid who played video games and you tell me that you didn't say along either to the EA ones, or if you played the GameCube, you go along with the like everybody did it. Everybody sang along.
I remember the challenge. The reason I remember that EA Games Challenge Everything was the it used to appear, but you know that really awful Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone game I showed you?
Yeah. I'm
fairly sure that was the developer.
What? EA?
It was Unreal. Oh, but EA Games for the it was on the Game Boy anyway.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Jesus. Oh, we should so play that game. It's an absolute piece of just filth.
That's the Sponge and Electric one.
It's so bad.
I mean, if only there was some way that we could raise the money to be able to see each other and record that, Dan.
I mean, it's such a shit. Oh, hang on. I think
What's
there
that?
might be a way.
There's something at the door. Hang on, I'm going to go to the door. Wait a minute. Hello. Oh, you're here. Hang on, come on in. Yeah, they're waiting to. Sorry, everyone. It's the Wikicast Patreon.
Ah, hello.
It's
so
just
nice
come
to
in.
meet you.
I was going to do a voice then. What would the Patreon sound like?
Patreon sounds like a robot.
Oh, I'm not going to do a robot voice. I cannot do a robot voice. We're going to have to. He's mute. I mean, he is a robot, of course, but he doesn't. We didn't put a speaking chip into him. So,
right. He converses through binary. This is the only way.
Yeah. What's that? You've got to display those numbers at more than 1 a second, Patreon. This is going to take a very long time to translate into text. Okay, right. We'll speak on his behalf.
Yes.
We have just launched, as of the time of this podcast being released, the Wikicast Patreon. Dan, what is Patreon?
Patreon, well, it's going to be the answer to all of our prayers, Simon. It's a crowdfunder.
What's a crowdfunder, Dan?
So basically, it's going to give you guys as our dear readers or weeders, if you're a first time reader, the opportunity to support the podcast from a kind of fiscal perspective. So we touched on it before. I think in last week's episode, one of the things we were looking at would be trying to cover hosting costs, and that's something that with your support allows the podcast to become self-sufficient. It also means that as far as kind of donations to Wikipedia is concerned, which is something that we were also really keen to do, we can kind of give more of a kind of an impact with your help, and it gives you as listeners a route to do that. I think let me just go to the Patreon page right now.
That's www.patreon.com/thewikicast. It'll be in the show notes.
My Google Chrome has decided to crash. Amazing.
I'll take over from Daniel. So I am looking at the Wikicast Patreon. So it's very modest what we want to do with this, guys. We are not trying to raise hundreds or thousands of dollars a month. If you are an individual who would like to donate hundreds or thousands of dollars a month, please do get in touch. But yeah, we are basically looking to cover hosting and then a little bit on top of this, guys. So as such, the way that Patreon works is you have reward tiers, right? So if you are willing to give a certain amount per month, then you get something in return. And for us, we're saying if you want to donate $1 a month, we have 2 tiers for $1 a month. And then if you really, really like us and you really would like to see the podcast grow, and we'll talk about exactly how we'd like to sort of use this money in a moment, there's a tier for $5. But really, we're literally asking for people, if you like the podcast and you enjoy listening to it and you consider yourself a reader, if you can spare literally $1 a month, which is, what can you buy for $1?
Not much in the UK.
Well, yeah, because it's not the accepted currency. $1 is, say, £1. For £1 a month, you could buy yourself a can of Coke or something. It's that level of expense, guys. That is all that we're asking. Literally $1 a month. If you want to give more, of course you can, but we do want to stress this is a low level thing. We don't want to make a huge amount of money from this. Certainly not at the moment. We don't think that this is worth any more than about $1 a month.
Yeah, exactly.
We have 2 tiers, and they are, of course, Team Dog and Team Cat. So with your donation, we want you to choose which is the best household pet. So, of course, I want to see Team Cat do well on this. I fully expect everyone listening to this is going to go to www.patreon.com/thewikicast and pledge $1 a month in Team Cat.
And of course, Team Dog listeners, I expect that Simon's going to be completely wrong there. We all know that dogs are the other kind of master pet. But this is going to be really fun. So we're going to be able to track week by week how the competition is doing. And it also means it's going to be serving a second purpose too, because as we've already mentioned, the hosting costs would be it's such a small thing, and it sounds really ridiculous, but it would be such a kind of amazing feeling for I think both Simon and myself to know that the podcast is self-sufficient. It's it's going off its own steam.
And then if you would like to donate more than that, there is a tier for what we're calling Top Lad, where effectively, if you donate $5 a month, we will give you a special shout out at the end of every episode to say thank you for your support of the podcast.
Yeah.
But not many people are, there's only 20 slots, I think, available for that, because we don't want to have you guys to sit through loads and loads and loads of names. Much as we are very grateful to everyone who supports the podcast, we get that it's not necessarily riveting listening to listen to a bunch of names.
Yeah.
So Dan, how are we going to be using this money?
Well, as we've touched on, we're going to be thinking about how much money we can go towards covering hosting costs. So that works out about $12 a month. We would then also we'd be pretty keen on using any excess money. So when we reach $32 a month, we'd be looking at giving a Wikipedia donation of £20 for each month, because certainly here at the podcast we use Wikipedia all the time. It's literally in the name. But we've got a lot of kind of student listeners, and we'd all be kidding ourselves if we said that we couldn't probably donate a little bit more. This gives you the opportunity to do it, but do it as kind of like part of the Wikicast family. And also,
it means that we look good. It means that we can say to people, look how much money our podcast donates, and then just not tell the fact that actually a lot of that is just going straight to Wikipedia every month.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, as a family, donating $20 to Wikipedia every month, that's a lot of money, really.
Yeah.
That's going a pretty significant... Well, I mean, it's not keeping the website afloat by itself, of course, but I think we could be proud of that. If we can reach that level on the Patreon, I think we're really, really keen on that.
It'll also make up for the occasional kind of editing of Wikipedia articles that we've used in the past. I don't know if you can remember. I can't remember which episode it was, but can you remember us going on and seeing that a dear fan had made some additions?
To where?
To a Wikipedia page. They mentioned that it was spoken on the podcast. Can you remember?
Yeah, I cannot remember which one it was for the life of me. But yeah, we have had a little bit of tomfoolery on Wikipedia.
So I feel like
which we don't encourage, but we thought was hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
And then on top of the Wikipedia donation, basically above that point, the Patreon money is going to be going into effectively a slush fund, which we're going to use to develop the podcast. Yeah. And part of that is going to be, and also the associated YouTube channel, Spongy and Electric. And part of that, the money is going to go into a fund which we can use effectively to pay for one of us to travel, either coach or train or whatever, to the other person, so we can record stuff like doing a Harry Potter PS1 playthrough for the YouTube channel, which would be amazing. I'd love to do that.
It means that things that would normally be limited by our own wallets, it gives us a little bit more freedom with being able to kind of do more exciting things.
At the end of the day, we have been paying for this out of pocket for everything. I mean, bless him, Dan's been paying for the hosting for however many months now. And it is, as much as we do love doing this, we only do this project because we do find it fun. But certainly now I'm self-employed, I have to view this as is the amount of time that I put into the Wikicast worth me losing money with everything we do? So we definitely don't want to have to put to invest too much of our own money. We accept the fact that we're going to have to pay some money sometimes. We're not just like freeloaders, but we want to minimize how much we're going to have to put into it. So stuff like travel be really, really useful to have the knowledge that we're not out of pocket for paying for a train ticket or something. And another thing, Dan, what's something else that we could use that slush fund for? Well,
Simon, I'm so glad you asked. We're really keen to kind of look down the kind of the merchandise route. This is something that kind of we've already had quite a few discussions about, and we're thinking we're getting some really good plans together. All of these things will be kind of announced at a later date. But with any other money that comes in, it allows us to kind of use that pot to kind of to push the boat out even more. So t-shirts is something that we've had a lot of interest for. If some way down the line we'd like to be looking at, if we could do a poster that might be, as a collaboration of stuff that's designed by those who listen, or mugs and stickers and God knows what else. And basically, again, much like with our kind of travel plans not being affected by money, it just means that the creative process, we have a little bit more wiggle room as far as support is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, certainly in terms of things like merch, basically the way that it works, guys, is obviously we have to spend money to make the merchandise, and then when you guys buy it, of course, the idea is, if we've done our economics right, that we make our money back at least, and then a little bit on top, which then gets reinvested into the podcast. But we do need that initial investment. We need capital, much as I hate it. So that's basically where your money, if you're generous enough to donate to the Wikicast, that's where that'll be going. I mean, we'd like to point out, by the way, that our goals are so modest that literally, I think, like 30 people, a classroom's worth of people, could donate to the Wikicast, and we'd hit the two important goals of covering hosting and donating to Wikipedia. We are not asking everyone to do this, because I think if everyone who listened to this podcast were to donate $1 a month, I mean, it would be great, don't get me wrong, but it'd be a laughable amount of money for us to try and spend on this podcast.
Yeah.
We are really
it would
not...
also mean that as far as we'd have to do, it would be amazing to kind of get that sheer amount of kind of monthly income in. But as far as what we can do with it, we're limited yet by size at the moment. So that's why our goals are so small.
In the future, maybe we could do something like the Wikicast live, and we could do what like My Dad Wrote a Porno did, where they went on like a tour, and you do episodes in different places in front of a live audience. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
But like that's something which we could do in the future if we were to raise a huge amount of money. But what we're trying to say is we're really not expecting much, guys. We don't have delusions of grandeur. We have delusions of adequacy at this point.
Yes.
So that is the Wikicast Patreon. Thank you, Patreon, for coming. I'll just let him out. Hang on. You entertain the readers a second, Dan. I'm just going to let Patreon out. Off you go.
He needs a bit of help on his way out. He's quite slow.
Oh, hello. That's inappropriate.
Whoa.
Off you go. Right.
Bit handsy.
Oh. Yeah. Wow. His pincers are very sharp. My bum. Oh, I'm not going to. Oh, it's quite uncomfortable to sit down now. Okay, so we were talking. That's enough serious talk. We were talking about this game, and funnily enough, I actually have a surprise for the podcast this week. Now, Dan, when we were setting up for the podcast, what happened?
I believe you. Well, firstly, you remembered that you hadn't fed the cat.
I did, Edna. If you're listening to this, I'm very sorry.
Yeah. Then you also you heard there was a knock at the door, and it wasn't Mr. Patreon. It was a delivery man.
I'm sorry. Did you just assume Patreon's gender?
I did.
You disgust me.
Oh God. Oh no. I'm so sorry, everyone. I've let you all down.
Please send your angry emails to www.patreon.com/thewikicast.
In the form of a $based pledge.
Yes. If you really want to register your disgust, Dan, donate to Team Cat, please. We're going to be reading out the totals for each team, I think, every week. And loyalties will be tested. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. No, what happened was I got this delivery. I got a lovely little box from Amazon. And what I thought I'd do, Dan, is I'd open it on microphone. I was going to say on camera. For the benefit of you and the readers at home. Now, I'm going to open it, and I'm going to give you some sounds, and I'm going to have you guess what it is. Okay.
Okay.
Right, so here we go. I'm opening. This is nearly as high octane as Printer Corner, I've got to say.
I miss Printer Corner.
Oh, can we set that as like a goal? Like, if we get a certain amount per month on Patreon, we'll do another Printer episode.
Yeah, sure.
All right, if we reach $50 on Patreon, we'll get some printing of Dan printing out a $50 note from America.
There you go.
That'll happen, okay? $50. Keep us to our word, everyone, because we know how much you love the printing. Anyway, back to the unboxing. So here we go. I'm going to open the package. Listen for this, ASMR fans. Oh, bollocks. The little tab broke. Hang on. No. Oh, I'm doing it backwards. No, I was doing it the right way.
Jesus. PhD, everybody. Simon Clark.
Right. Here we go. I'm opening. Hi, my name is Boxy. I'm opening the box. Here we go. Ooh. Cheeky. I am taking the thing out of the box.
Ooh.
Oh, there's another thing in here. Oh yeah, I forgot I ordered that as well. All right, I'll give one away. This is literally like ASMR. This won't quite work for you, Dan, because you're not going to be close to this microphone. But I'm going to give you some happy little ASMR of this. Oh, the little thing I ordered, which we just heard, is a book called Basic Mixing Techniques, which is for my YouTube channel to help me make better audio. But what I'm really interested in, and I know you are going to be really interested in, is this box. Now I'm gonna give you some sounds. And then I'm gonna shake it.
Ooh.
Now, do you have a guess, Dan, about what this might be?
Is it a small shoebox full of teeth?
Why did your mind go there?
That's what I can hear. That's what I can hear on my end.
A small shoebox full of teeth, like a child's shoebox full of teeth.
Yes.
Why do I do this podcast with you? Jesus Christ!
Is it, what you're telling? Is this your way of telling me that that's not what it is?
It's not. I will give you the dimensions. I mean, it's approximately 30 centimeters tall by about 20 centimeters across and about 3 or 4 centimeters deep. So it's 3-dimensional. I'll give you that much.
It's 3-dimensional. Wow, splashing out there.
And in the 4th dimension, in the 4th dimension, it will hopefully last about 50 years.
I don't know. I feel also it should be said that readers, you're getting a much better idea of what this thing sounds like than I am.
The microphone. We use 2 different microphones for this. You guys at home get the lovely podcasting microphone, whereas Dan has to make it doing my Bluetooth ones because we do the audio through my phone. Oh man, this is exciting.
I don't know. You're gonna have to give me more of a clue.
All right. I will. It's rated as age 12 plus.
Is it a puzzle?
Of sorts. I actually feel like something that's very appropriate to this item. I will read you the what's it called? It's not the blurb. It's like the little bit of teaser text at the bottom of the front of the box. Okay. It says, "Everything you need to start playing the world's greatest role-playing game."
Ooh. Is it? It's not Warhammer.
It's not Warhammer, but you're on the right lines.
Is it Dungeons and Dragons?
It's the Dungeons and Dragones starter set, because I am going to be the DM for a bunch of friends we all wanted to be massively dorky together and play a campaign, and I have been nominated as the person who has watched the most Dungeons and Dragons streams to be the Dungeon Master, being as like the one-eyed man in the land of the blind, because I've never played D&D myself. I've watched lots of it, and I've never DM'd, but here we go. I thought that this would be the best way to start because it comes with a pre-written adventure. So I don't actually have to create a campaign, much as I'd love to do that in the future. I feel like for my first one I probably shouldn't. And it also comes with the rule book and 6 dice. So should we do a little bit of an opening? Sorry, unopening?
Yeah, put it back in.
Opening. Sorry, let's put that. Send it back to Amazon.
Yeah.
Right. Hang on. Let's cut through the cellophane. Oh. Let's do that again. Oh, I hope you guys at home are enjoying this very, very ASMR heavy episode. This is so exciting! I've wanted to play D&D for so long because you've not done any role playing games, have you?
Yeah, I've played.
The ones in your room don't count.
I've played a derivative of D&D that I used to play with some friends. I've obviously.
Is it D&D by DX? Sorry. It's a terrible maths joke.
Wow, really good. No, I've played my kind of bunch of friends. We used to role play World of Warcraft pretty heavily. There's also the Choose Your Own Adventure books as well that I used to whenever we went on a long trip at school, I would read the book and kind of make up my own rules as we go. So if I had 3 or 4 friends, they could each have a character. And I'd kind of play like a dungeon master, but kind of work it through there. There is also there's a Dungeons and Dragons team that's currently being formed at the Apple Store.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Which is very exciting. Yeah, so they're currently looking for a DM. So I said that I wouldn't be opposed to doing it. But
I will let you know whether the starter set is worth getting when I'll obviously like devour this. Oh, that's a point. Yeah, there's actually a few other things to talk about today. Because a few exciting things have happened recently. But I actually now own one of the exciting things that just happened is I now officially own a D20. That is
nice.
I'm now a proper nerd. This is amazing. Hang on, I am going to roll for Dan's penis size. It's generating. That's a 5.
That's oddly accurate. That's incredible.
That's a rather small penis.
Yeah,
it's got to be said.
Yeah, sorry everyone.
It's not a nat 1. Do you have a modifier for your penis?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually that's a 2. Sorry, of course. Yeah, -3. That's a very small penis that Dan has. So Dan's on a 2 for a penis. I'm just going to roll for my penis size. Hang on. Oh dear. That's a 6. I mean, I'm bigger than Dan. That's.
I mean, shock horror. People have seen us in videos.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant bigger than that. Oh, I see.
We did Mr. and Mrs. and we got asked like of the two of us because they obviously put us together. He's got the bigger dick, and like I obviously drank, and everyone laughed, and then Dan was like, "Look at us." Like,
yeah.
What do you expect? Like.
It would be pretty shocking.
I think it would be a turn up for the books. Let's put it like that. I do have some because there's a D20, there's a D6. I have so many D6s from my Warhammer days. I've got a D. What is this? A D8? Yeah, it's a D8. A D12, a D4, and D's nuts.
Wow, well done. High caliber content here, as per usual from the Wikicast.
Yep. And a D10. Give me something else to roll for. What can I roll this D12 for?
Roll for the. Oh, God, this is a bit weird now because what if it comes true?
Do it. Well, that's the risk you take when you play D&D.
Oh, I don't know. I'm scared now. I'm quite superstitious.
Do it.
No, I'm scared now. This is getting into almost like Ouija board territory. I can't.
It's a D12 that I've just picked out of the D&D starter set. I think this has about as much predeterminative power as my left toenail.
Yeah, well, exactly. For those of you who don't know, Simon's left toenail practices black magic regularly.
And also, I only have one toenail on my left foot, apparently, like a hoof. Like, I don't have them on different toes.
A hoof.
Right, go on. Give me it. Come on, tell me.
Okay.
I want you to hit me.
Roll for the number of top lad donators this month.
Ooh, okay. Number of top lad donators. This is the D12. I fucked us by not using the D20. Is it's a 5.
Hey!
Thank you to the 5 top lads this month. So that's basically. I will report back in, readers, with my experience with Dungeons and Dragons. I know for a fact that at least one person who listens to this to the Wikicast is someone I'll be playing with. No spoilers. So you, dearest of all readers, I look forward to playing this with you. But I'll report in on that. The other exciting stuff that's happened recently, and I'll tell you who's a top lad, and that's Andy Weir, who I met yesterday. I met him last night in Bristol at a book signing. For those of you who don't know, Andy Weir is the guy who wrote The Martian. And the guy who wrote a new book called Artemis. So I went last night to this event where I got my copy of Artemis and I got it signed and my copy of The Martian signed. And he's a really nice guy, actually.
Nice.
Because you've seen the film, but you haven't read the book of The Martian. Is that right?
Yes, I haven't read the book.
Yeah, I'd recommend the book to anybody. Especially if you're of a technical bent. It's an excellent book, and meeting him, it all makes sense. It's like the dude reminds me of Smarter Everyday Guy, Destin Sandlin. Who, incidentally, has just announced he's starting a PhD. So good luck to him. If he needs any help, Destin, if you listen to this, I'm more than happy to advise you on how to mix YouTube with a PhD, if you need any help. But yeah, no, a really, really solid guy, Andy Weir, I've got to say. And then the other thing that happened last night was I hit a bit of a milestone on the old YouTube.
Oh, on the YouTubes, yeah. I can't believe we're only just getting onto this.
Well, it's because I'm a very selfless person. I don't like talking about myself, Dan.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought it up. Basically, I wanted to use this platform as a first public place, really, in like media, to say I hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Woo!
That's a thing.
Hang
on, I'd lined something up. I was gonna do an impressively shit sound effect to put in at this point.
Okay.
I prepared this last night in that I liked the video so I could find it today.
Nice.
Hang on. So I hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
That was the next video. Sorry.
Nice.
So that is the quality that has got me. The quality of making content that has got me to 100,000 subscribers. Deserved, I think. But very seriously, thank you to everybody who has subscribed to me and made this possible. It made the fact that I can even consider doing YouTube as a career possible. Like since making that video where I announced that I was going to be doing it full time, it has been so positive, the response. Like it's been really, really insanely busy recently trying to get everything set up and like getting back into like the workflow. In fact, arguably I feel busier now than I did at the end of the PhD, or that might just be me conveniently forgetting what it was like at the end of the PhD.
I think you've erased it from your memory.
It pretty much. There's like just a fuzzy spot where I don't remember anything for about 2 or 3 months. But yeah, it's been an awful lot of work recently, but it's amazing to be given this opportunity. So I am going to be picking up the ball and running with it. And getting on the broom and catching the snitch for 150 points, hopefully. And trying to make really interesting content. Thank you, Zoe Wanamaker.
That's all right, no worries.
That was what her parents said. I want to make her.
Wow. Puns left, right, and centre here today. Good lord.
I am suns out, puns out. That's what today is. Apparently, but what I thought was hilarious was I texted my mum and dad are away. They're in this phase at the moment where they are like determined to spend any limited inheritance I was going to get from them. So they're like going on a lot of holidays, and they're in Madeira at the moment. And I texted her last night saying I reached 100,000 subscribers, and I got a text back that just says, "Well, well done. Madeira is full of Germans."
Wow.
Yeah,
feeling the love.
Feeling the love for my parents. My parents are not the most emotive of people. But yeah, thanks, Mum. I love you. I love you and Dad very, very much. And I mean, that's not even a joke. What is a joke is, like how unemotive we are as a family. But yeah, I just thought it was really funny. I was expecting like, oh, we're really proud of you. Like you've worked on this for so long. Congratulations. No, well done. Madeira's full of Germans. I mean, is that a thing? Do we have any listeners from Madeira? Can you confirm whether or not your island is full of Germans?
No, we'll have to. Yeah.
I don't know why I asked you that, Dan, because I can't get a response from the readers. This is the way that the podcast works.
Answers on a postcard to spongyelectric@gmail.com.
Well, you know what? Actually, I have talked for way too long, and I know that you have a lot to say in the next corner of the podcast. So, should we take a little trip on our portage over in our canoe?
Portage over
to Critics' Corner.
Here we go. Well, I was watching something the other day. I made a riveting start. Can't remember the title. Clearly stuck in my mind. It was really excellent.
Do you maybe want to restart the start to this section?
No, I've remembered it now. I've got it now.
That was fine. The past 20 seconds, readers, just ignore that. That didn't happen. Right, Dan. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying? I cut across you when you weren't really saying anything of note.
Very recently, and kind of unknown to me, Netflix has been putting on some really, really good stuff, very sneakily uploading it without really letting anybody know. I rewatched In Bruges last night.
Oh, I've still not seen that.
Oh, it's good. Oh, it's really good. It's just a really excellent film. Kind of super, super dark comedy with really kind of poignant moments. But yeah, like just I forgot I hadn't seen this film in maybe 4 or 5 years, I imagine. But it properly took me by surprise as to how bloody good it was. I've also on Netflix I've watched Oh no, what's it called? It's a Channel 4 series, End of the Fucking World.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
Yeah. Let me try and find it. Hang on. I want to give you a... So it's got... I forget the name of the actor, but he was in an episode of Black Mirror.
Oh, that narrows it down.
Yeah. It's starring Alex Lawther and Jessica Barden.
Okay.
It's a British absurdist black comedy drama television series based on the comic series End of the Fucking World by Charles S. Forsman. The series jointly follows James, a 17-year-old who's believably psychopathic, and Alyssa, a rebellious classmate who sees James as a chance to escape her tumultuous home life.
Is this the one where he's a serial killer and he knows he's going to kill her, but he doesn't know when yet?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I have heard of this.
It's really good. It's really worth watching.
I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't really watched anything. I put this section over to you because I have done so little of the television and of the films and of the Netflix recently. I literally. I mean, to be fair, I have been working through my watch later playlist on YouTube because for the past 4 months, if there was anything, I just put it straight on that playlist, and it's got 174 videos in, which is down substantially from what it was. But yeah, I mean, this is really your section, Dad. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. You can go into as much detail as you want.
Well, if you want some kind of advice on what to watch, I can highly recommend End of the Fucking World and In Bruges, both on Netflix, both superb. Yeah, very, very impressed.
Could we possibly pick fewer things to watch that have swear words in them, please? So I don't have to do quite so much editing work.
The thing I love about End of the Fucking World is that it's just really fucking good. Helpful?
I fucking hate you. Very, very helpful. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't had the time to go to the films. I mean, also, it doesn't help that I'm now at my parents' house in Keynsham, and in order to get to a cinema, I have to take either a bus or get a lift. There's no way to walk to a cinema near here. Whereas in Exeter, I mean, we were 2 minutes from a cinema. It was insanely convenient.
Literally 2 minutes. We just walked around the corner and there we were.
Yeah, so I'm sadly now limited in terms of what I can watch. So I should really get on the Netflix. I haven't been watching enough of the Netflix, considering I pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you know me. What do you think I should watch? Just out of all the things you've watched on Netflix, what do you think I should make a priority to watch? Because I've heard The Expanse. That might be on, I think, Amazon rather than Netflix, maybe. But I've heard that's meant to be really good.
Tell you what you should watch that I think is on Amazon and not on Netflix.
Man in the High Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been meaning to watch that for a while.
Man, that is really good. Again, that was one of the series that I binged watched over the course of 48 hours.
Oh wow!
Right, can you remember you'd come home?
Oh yeah,
stuck it on after dinner.
You were always watching.
Yeah, and then you'd come down in the morning on a Saturday morning, and I would be in the same position, just being like, it's so good, it's too good.
It's pretty bleak though, isn't it? It must have been depressing as hell watching it all in 2 days.
Yeah, massively. But I kind of like that. As long as I get a really kind of visceral reaction to watching something, I don't mind whether it's happy or sad.
Am I right in saying that you're a big fan of horror films?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the same thing. It's not necessarily your view of being entertained by something is it's eliciting a strong emotional response.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So is there anything that you like that you just kind of, is it all or nothing then? You either get a really strong response or you're stone cold when it comes to watching something?
Yeah. Pretty much, but 9 times out of 10 it is just super strong response. You know me, I can watch anything and weep or
Yes, Dan is unbelievably leaky.
Yes.
He also cries a lot.
Don't add more kind of fan the fire of fan fiction.
Oh god, yes. We'll be taking something of a hiatus, I think, from fan fiction just for a little bit whilst we
just
recover.
So we can recover
from last week.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I need to eat some more vitamin K. I think. Yeah, that was an experience, Hannah. I mean, we love you, but
wow.
I mean, I regret asking for it. Basically, I really do.
Yeah.
I think what I might do, I might try my hand at writing a fan fiction. I've got some train rides coming up soon. I'm going to a conference tomorrow in Leeds, so I've got a big train ride there and back, and maybe I could try my hand at trying to do something. So maybe next week. Maybe next week I'll have written something for us, which will be decidedly less smutty because we're not going back to that well. That is not happening. Like, if we're being a critic, if this is this being Critics Corner, it has merit, the art. Don't get me wrong. I just, I wish it wasn't about me.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. We'll have to put it to the test to see whether the standard of your writing is up to the readership. And speaking of the readership, I think it's time to head to Correspondence Corner, where our dear readers have been writing in with passion and fervour, and it would be remiss of us to leave them hanging any longer.
Yeah, then we'll do a transition there. Sorry.
Nice. I think it works better without that transition, just you explaining what we're going to do there. We've got an email here from Peter Walker. He says, "Dear Dr. Simon Clark, PhD, MSc, BSc, and Dan." Thanks.
He also he's put MSc question mark in brackets. It's PhD MPhys rather than the 2 degrees, so it doesn't look quite so impressive.
He says,
Dan, of course, still has no letters after his name.
I still have absolutely none at all. I'm currently listening to your Cook and Becker episode.
That's not quite true. Dan does have letters after his name. It's just that they're MAW because they're his surname. But anyway, carry on.
Oh, wow. That was really funny, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I'm proud of that one.
He's also...
that's the opposite of what I mean.
He also, I don't know if you've spotted, he's emailed this to several addresses.
Oh my God, he really has.
He's emailed it to spongyelectric@gmail.com, spongyeandelectric@gmail.com, spongyeelectric@gmail.com, and I'll add as many email addresses as I like. Thank you very much @gmail.com.
Top lad. I like that.
Fine work, Pete. He says, "I'm currently listening to your Cook and Becker episode, and you were asking for suggestions as for games to play on Spongy Electric. I'd highly recommend Portal 2 if you haven't played it already, as well as RimWorld, as you asked for a kind of city/Civ builder games. Additionally, I was wondering if either of you have watched Black Mirror, and if so, what you thought of it. That's all for now. Toodle pip. Pete, aged 18 and 5/6. I have watched Black Mirror. I haven't seen the new season, but I've seen the previous 3, and they are superb. Charlie Brooker is the writer, isn't it?
Yeah, I've not actually watched any of them. For
good.
some reason...
They're super. You'd really like them.
I know they're really good, and I know that I will almost certainly like them, but there's something about them that just puts me off, and I really can't put my finger on it. I think it's possibly just how dark they are and like how bleak everything is. It's just like, I just know that I'll watch it and be really depressed. Like, I know that the writing's great and it's very well made, but I just can't help but feel like I'm settling down for an hour of depression, basically. But then in terms of the games, I've played a bit of the Portal 2 co-op, but that could be hilarious if we did that. And we could do that remotely as well. We don't have to be in the same place. RimWorld could be hilarious because we do like to RP quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe that's some good suggestions. I mean, I think I'm a fan of doing retro stuff on the channel. I'd love to pick something really old and like, I don't know, Pharaoh or something.
Yeah. Something suitably jank.
Yeah, we've got to be able to laugh with the game as well as at the game.
Yes.
So, but Portal 2 is a very good suggestion. If you guys would like to see that, maybe we could do a poll or something on my Twitter, and we could ask people what they'd like to see first, and we'll let the people decide. Or we could put that as a Patreon-only poll. So only the people that support us on Patreon can choose.
Food for thought.
www.patreon.com/the Wikicast.
Plug.
Next, we have an email from Tyler Rooker. Greeting, Messrs. Moore and Clark. First off, I wanted to say thanks for doing the podcast. You're both top lads, your tangents are great, your signs are disappointing, and your cosines are passable. And the articles themselves can be quite interesting when they'll actually get discussed. Please keep up the good work. Also, Comic Sans, Dan, and Comic Sans, the fuck mate. In the most recent Wikicast, as of writing, you said that you didn't like the new adaptation of Stephen King's IT. I think he means it, but he's capitalized like it. So it looks like Stephen King's information technology. And I was wondering if you could briefly further explain your opinion on IT. Oh no, he did actually mean it then. From a highly biased Stephen King fanboy perspective, I thought the film handled the ludicrous amount of things in the book very well. Parentheses, he was on a lot of cocaine when writing it, apparently, and it does show. End parentheses. My personal footnote here, there's this massive orgy in the sewers with the children that they skip, which is a good thing. End personal footnote. And that the acting was stellar throughout. I saw it with two friends, one who has read the book and one who hasn't, and we all loved it. And you're the first person I know that dislikes it to the extent in which you do. So I'd be curious to hear you explain why you're wrong.
Fair play. I don't know. I mean, it should be said, I watched it on the plane. So
well, there we go.
As far as a viewing experience goes, it's not the best. But equally, I just was bored. I was just really, really bored watching it. Like, it was, and you're correct in saying that the acting was stellar throughout, as you say. That's spot on. The performances are all fine, but I just found it really kind of profoundly dull. Especially for someone who is a fan of horror or kind of scary films. This didn't do it for me in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, I mean, I'm not a fan of horror films, and I've not seen information technology, so I really can't comment. But I am intending to agree with you, Tyler, because you have a problem with Dan. So yeah, I'm on your side of the fence here.
Always good.
Anyway, he concludes, "Sorry for the ramble. Yours truly, loyal reader Tyler." Age 17 and 52 73rds. It's a nice fraction.
Nice.
Great choice.
Yeah, nice.
Great choice. P.S. Simon, congratulations to Hello, your new Simon has been rebooted. P.S. Simon, congratulations on handing in your PhD thesis. I'm sure you'll smash the Viva. Vivat Regina, everyone.
Vivat Regina.
Or Rivat Vagina. Yeah, thank you. It was nearly killed me, but I'm in a way looking forward to Viva. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, no, I'm not okay.
Rivat Vagina.
Wow, that tickled me. That's good.
I was glad joke. For those of you who don't know, your parry. We'll put that in the footnotes.
Hashtag parry.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You know what we haven't done? Oh, Jesus wept. We had the most amazing thing possibly in the history of the universe happened to us this week, because after we talked about the piece by Pretorius, Es ist ein Rosensprungen.
Oh my god.
We were right. Okay, now so we'll have to include it in the podcast,
yes,
okay? Because this is phenomenal work. So we talked about this piece by Pretorius, which is a gorgeous, beautiful piece of music. And in fact, to give you a sense, we'll include a little section here of a proper music group singing it. This is the Jesualdo 6 doing Es ist ein Rosensprungen.
No. Wait. We can't do that one. It's got to be. It's got to be. Wait, did you say Tenebrae?
No, I said the Jesualdo 6.
Oh, I thought you said Tenebrae. Continue.
Well, I kind of finished, actually. Here is a version that was sent to us by My Beard. I now have... we have Dan's forehead on Twitter, and we have Simon's beard. My thesis beard is now on Twitter. And they sent us... Prepare your ears. This masterpiece.
God.
Here we go, boys.
I don't think I can do it. I mean...
Oh, good God. I feel a little bit sick. Oh, my God.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible.
I mean, I apologise for your ears because it is somewhat grating, but Oh my God! Somebody auto-tuned our voices. Simon's beard, my beard. Well done, beard. I mean, rip in peace. You went down the drain in Exeter, but you've done a pickle Rick and you've like reformed yourself into a body, and you are now capable of editing, or possibly like Snake's hair in that one Treehouse of Horror episode of The Simpsons. You've like got a new host, and you're now editing content on somebody else's face. But my goodness, I mean. Could I give him a round of applause, please, Dan? And at home, please join in with this. I mean, that was outstanding.
Outstanding work. Well done.
Outstanding. Wow. That was that was quite something.
We have an email here from Simon Turseth. Would that be the pronunciation?
Oh, I don't know.
Turseth.
It's an O with a line through it. We don't know.
Dear Messrs. Clark and Moore, Clark is in Comic Sans in rainbow font, so fantastic work there, Simon.
Thank you.
Upon reading this week's episode, Cook and Becker, I was intrigued to hear that the possibility of merchandise. First of all, I'd like to say that I really enjoy the podcast. Listening to the Fat Simon and the Little Man has become a weekly event for me. And without
we're like the two atomic bombs. It's like Fat Boy and was it Fat Man and Little Boy? What were the two bombs that were dropped on Japan?
That sounds right, doesn't it?
Fat Man and Little Boy. Yeah, thank you.
God.
That's us. That's the podcast, the nuclear podcast. Fat Man and Little Boy.
He has become a weekly event for me, and without the weekly episode, my sanity gradually becomes more and more gushy with the lack of intellectual stimuli from your tangential banter.
Cheeky.
More on that another time. Back to the merchandise idea. When you pitched the idea of stickers and t-shirts, I was thinking more of jumpers and hoodies, especially with Dan's magnificent and abnormally large forehead without the eyebrows. See the following attachment. Consider the attachment... And it could be edited to just containing either of your heads, full size, without the current cut, both together and without the text. My apologies for bad editing. Hopefully you can expand on the concept and make it a feature in the merchandise section. In addition, I thought the idea of a jumper would keep the integrity of the host, since Dan is an old man and loves using jumpers over his shirts. Very true. Very true. Last note, I hereby declare myself the title of Archbishop of Bantery and demand 3.141592653.5% of all podcast revenue. Best regards, your twin Simon Torseth, brackets Clark.
Do you see what he's done there? Is he's demanded a slice of the pie?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, actually, Simon. If that's what you were going for, you wanted a piece of that pie. That's pretty good.
Very good.
I do like the design. I mean, we could, I suppose, do t-shirts. Sorry, like jumpers or clothes generally with one of our heads, and then we can lord it over the other if one of our version of the merchandise sells better than the other person's.
A bright yellow jumper with my face on it excites me greatly.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever to go on a Tinder date, perhaps, dear readers at home, and you weren't sure what to wear, that surely in lovely Dodie Clark yellow with Dan's face and the Wikicast. It's a gorgeous
shade of yellow, it should be said.
We have to say, on the record, we genuinely didn't pick it because it was Dodie yellow. Yeah. It just so happened that we went through a bunch of shades of yellow and we were like, oh, we like that one. And then only afterwards realised it is literally her shade of yellow. So, Dodie, if you are listening to this, we genuinely, it is literally a coincidence. It's possible that because you're in Dan's head so much that that is when he thinks of yellow, that is yellow.
Yeah, but, to me, there is only one shade of yellow.
Yeah, and that is Dodie yellow. But yeah, that wasn't intentional. We could do other things. I mean, I have to admit, I thought t-shirts purely because if I was to buy something from an online brand, if you like, I would go for a t-shirt because it's cheap and I have very little money. And jumpers and hoodies are more expensive.
Yes.
But we could be open to that.
For sure. I'll be up for that. Even if it's just for me.
Next, we have an email from Chris, which has made me feel like an absolute idiot. Because he writes, Dear Messrs. Clark and Moore, I've been a long-time reader of the podcast and absolutely love it. You have questionable taste. Simon, congratulations on submitting your thesis. It has been great to follow your journey. Again, you have questionable taste, but thank you very much for watching. He has a few humble suggestions for your feudal list of lads. Great alliteration. Ladmiral. How did we not think of Ladmiral?
I don't know. That's really, really disappointing because Ladmiral's perfect.
I know, right? Admiral of the Fleet, or Lad of the Fleet. Oh, if only there was some way we could make that better. Yes, Ladmiral, guys. We've really missed that.
Rear
Admiral, Ladmiral of the Fleet, Vice Ladmiral, and Officer Ladette from the Navy, Marshal of the Lad from the RAF. Yeah. I really I feel like an idiot. Thank you, Chris, for making me feel stupid. It happens quite frequently, but you really. focused that beam of let's make For Simon Feel Stupid into that moment when I read it. Yeah, lad. No, you know what, Chris? You're a ladmiral. Anyway, yes, he's put too much energy into this, and he should be doing his EPQ. Yes, you should, young man. That's a very important thing that you should be doing, and I enjoyed mine a lot, and it's great for university applications. So if you're thinking of doing one, any reader, do it. But let Chris go back to his, and he says, keep up the good work, and dogs, always.
Good man.
Kind regards, Chris Oddie, age 17, and my maths isn't good enough for this.
Me too.
Me too. I like your honesty.
The only reason I can work out my age as a fraction easily is because it is my birthday next month, and it makes 11/12 just comes to mind quite quickly.
Oh yeah, I mean I need to update mine really. I probably should have like a little app on my phone that just calculates it for me because that's the kind of thing that I would code. I might have to do that. If anyone would like to send me a program that calculates or design an app just for me that I can download that calculates my age as a compound fraction, that would be that is Ladmiral of the Fleet material. Gotta say. But please, that's a terrible waste of time. Don't do it. Dan, what's our next email?
We've got an email here from Admiral of the Lads, James Mumford.
I will wait for you.
Yeah, Mumford and Sons. That's a Mumford and Sons joke there, everybody. Wave it on by.
I'm bringing my A game today. Unfortunately for me, A is the lowest because I'm going in ascending order in the alphabet.
God. He says... Dear Simon X Maths and DJ Moore, firstly, I feel the need to apologise for my last email. The impulsive review of Star Wars, I can't believe I added footnotes, and oh my god, it was so long and appallingly written. I was cringing listening to poor Daniel struggle his way through some of the more overwritten passages. I was like, breathe for f***'s sake, oh my god, I'm so sorry. In my defence, it was written at 3 a.m, seemingly the only time I ever feel compelled to write. Good thing this time it's not Guess what time it is?
Hang on, what time was this sent?
48 minutes past 3.
Yeah, nice. Solid, James. Also, it wasn't badly written. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was perfect.
I like the fact that this podcast is encouraging people to write. I just got to say that. Like, I feel like writing, particularly writing correspondence, is kind of it's fallen by the wayside in place of DMs and things like that. So I think it's great that people are writing us long form content. Yeah, we do enjoy reading it. So don't apologize for writing.
It's my favorite time of the week. Going through this correspondence, it genuinely is.
Yeah,
I love it.
It genuinely is for me, actually, yeah.
He says, anyway, yeah, I'm going to lay off with the essays from now on. I have a 100% success rate so far on my evals being intrusively long. I'm not really important enough to be taking up an excess of 15 minutes on any podcast, let alone yours. Once again, Soz. If anyone's allowed to take up 15 minutes on a podcast, James, it's Admiral of the Lads. My reason for writing is actually just to let you know that I intend on signing off all my future emails with my newly bestowed title, Admiral of the Lads. All of my emails, I should clarify, irrespective of their pertinence to this podcast, the only context in which it will be understood. Amazing. I also want you to sign off in any kind of essays you write in future or kind of correspondence to the Prime Minister. Anything needs to be Admiral of the Lads. It is
absolutely.
It's an honour and a privilege to be recognised amongst the readers and indeed humanity, and to be finally placed within such a high tier of ladity. This term, of course, was coined by the young Daniel, so I presume we're going with ladity. Ladity's fine. I can't imagine any other appropriate spelling. God, I'm so f***ing lame. This is the kind of sentence that would be cut if I ever bothered to proofread. Sincerely yours, Admiral of the Lads, James Mumford. James.
Can we all please salute Admiral of the Lads, James Mumford? That's it's a podcast, so you can't tell, but I am saluting right now, James.
Likewise.
Or should I say, Ladmiral?
Ladmiral.
Milady. Next, we have a quick email from Jane Krause, who says, Dear boys, I quite like that, actually. A big hey and hello. A big hey, a big hello from the tiny town of Plainland, Queensland. I'll let you Google it. And you know what, Jane? I'm going to do that right now. Hang on, let me just, hang on. P-L-A. God, it'd be so much easier if I had more than one finger. Oh, wait, no, that was wrong. Hang on.
This is killing me. Please hurry up. Oh, God.
N. Hang on, was it S or L next? Was it Plainsland or Plainland?
It was Plane.
Was it?
No.
Have I misspelled this? Don't make me use the backspace. This is we're gonna be here for a while. Oh, it was Plainland. Okay, right.
Yes.
L-A-N-D space.
Jesus Christ.
Q U. Oh, look, it's come up as a predicted result. Oh, that's good.
Oh, thank Christ for that.
Plainland. It's a locality in the Lockyer Valley region, Queensland, Australia. The locality lies 75 kilometres west of Brisbane, the state capital, along the Warrego Highway. How do you pronounce?
How's it spelled?
Warrego. Warrego?
Yeah, I'd say probably that.
And it is a town, a mighty settlement of 1,672 people.
Wow.
I think this is what is technically described as the arse end of nowhere. But a farmer's market is held adjacent to the hotel on Sundays, apparently.
Oh, nice.
So, wow, I've learned something today, and that is how to type. I must say, I have very much enjoyed your podcast and love hearing your random ramblings, especially that of music. I just graduated with my Bachelor of Arts / Bachelor of Teaching, majoring in history. Though finishing, I'm now missing studying. Well, congratulations on graduating and for going into teaching. Keeping this relevant to PhD talk, I was very privileged to be part of my choir director's PhD recital at Sydney's Conservatorium of Music. Is that right? Conservatorium of Music? Anyway, it was focusing on conducting a particular style for Baroque music, so he performed Bach's 182nd cantata, all in German, of course. That's really interesting. Because there is a definite style to performing Bach, isn't there? Like people like John Eliot Gardiner get it, you know.
Yeah.
So, and very unusual to have actually a choir director with a PhD. I mean, we had Dr. Jones, Dr. Ed Jones, who's now moved to Belfast, sadly, at Exeter. But yeah, it's very unusual. Oh, sorry. Bless you, dear.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Wow.
It took me as much of a surprise as it did you, so continue.
Yeah, wow. Be still my beating heart. Anyway, Jane says, anyway, I must wrap this up, and I wanted to say thank you for a very interesting ramble. Kind regards. Did you just thank us for your ramble? I mean, you're right in that we read it out, and so you're going to listen to it. So you could say thank you to us, but I think that was just you saying, thank me for a very interesting ramble. Kind regards, Jane. Well,
lovely.
Thank you, Jane.
Got an email here from Satchel Eaton. Says, hello, I've refrained from emailing you for quite some time due to the fact that I was absolutely crazy that I kept hearing email us at Spongy Electric. Same name choice, big fan. Oh, solid name choice. Wait, what?
Same name choice, solid fan.
Sorry, I think I just had a stroke there. Anyhow, I have no idea why I like your podcast, but I do. Keep that going. Also, I'd love to hear some serious Rick and Morty talk on your show. Hungry for apples?
I am.
Always. Also, since I know you're both into butchering pronunciations, languages, accents, take the Minnesotan accent for a while. You could probably pull that one off. Do it. Best regards from a Minnesotan stuck in Wisconsin, Satchel.
Put the gun down, eh?
Wow.
Like, because we do have something of an advantage here because we watch a lot of red letter media who are based in Wisconsin. So, no, you're asking for a Minnesota. I don't know what Minnesotan is. Is Minnesota is Canada, isn't it? So it's presumably about the same.
Yeah, it's kind of. I imagine it's the kind of accent that you hear on. What was that film about the Fargo?
Fargo, yeah.
It's
like, what's all this about, eh? That's a real Cheecham Skeecher you got there.
Wow.
I think that's. Is that?
It's like poetry, right? Mate. That was really nice.
I think it's called a Cheecham Skeecher. I was learning some slang from the Canadian channels in... oh no, apparently that's definitely not it. There was something like that. Like, what I thought was Cheecham Skeecher. It was like, look at that thing, it's really going. Like, a Skeecher is a thing I thought was a thing that goes and, like, if it's Cheecham, that means it's, like, really going for something. Right. We're going to teach you how to bite the biscuit, eh? Which is a hockey term, I think. I've now exhausted my limited knowledge of Canada, unfortunately.
Right. There you go.
Okay, correct me. I was clearly going for some slang there, and I want somebody from Canada to correct me because I love the phrase that they introduced me to, and I've just forgotten it.
Canadian readers, do your thing. Email in, spongyelectric@gmail.com.
Do it, eh?
We've got an email here from Grace Carter.
Hang on, isn't it my turn? Excuse me? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, it is your turn. Go on then.
Cough. So we've got an email here from Grace Carter. Hi, Daniel and Simon. I thought it should be in alphabetical order, though having recently found out there is no known reason that the order of the alphabet is the way it is. Wow, that's trippy. I do feel slightly weird about using it. So, long random side note. I found your podcast through Simon's YouTube channel. I have only listened to the latest 2 episodes, but I love it already. Minus the fan fiction, which was very full on. Yes, Grace. Yes, it was. Hannah, looking at you. Just wanted to say you're both doing a really good job. I'm about to start a Master of Publishing. What she's written is, I'm about to start a Master or Publishing, and was looking for something to fill the 2-hour journey to campus. So glad I have found your podcast. Well, hopefully you're having a nice walk. Everybody who's walking whilst listening to this podcast, hello.
Hello there.
hello there. Stop where you are. Give us a wave. Point in the direction that you think Exeter is. Just give us a little wave with your hand. It could be a little subtle. If you're maybe surrounded by people, a little subtle wave. If you're on a bus, you could do it as well. Little subtle wave. We're waving back. I'm waving.
We're all waving.
I'm on a spinny chair, so I'm going to wave in every direction. Hang on. I've now waved at everybody on the planet. I'm even going to do the people in the other side of the world, like through the floor. And maybe if there's someone on the International Space Station, hello there. Right. So I hope you're having a nice walk there, Grace, and watch out for General Kenobi. She concludes, keep doing what you're doing. Looking forward to the next episode, Grace. P.S. I don't know if your podcast analytics tell you this kind of thing, but in case you're interested, your podcast has reached all the way to rural New South Wales in Australia. We have quite a few Australian listeners, don't we? Readers.
Unfortunately, we can't do a breakdown by state in Australia, unlike we can do that with America. But good to know. New South Wales, Australia.
Maybe Australia tour, maybe? That's a stretch goal.
Let's do it. Okay,
so next we have an email from Jay Wright, who... oh, wait, sorry, mate. Did I just cut you off?
No, it's all right. That's fine.
Oh, but this is special. Oh, I thought the picture he'd attached was meant to be a picture of you, but I now realise it's just meant to be someone who's wearing a large hat rather than, in fact, having an extremely large forehead.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Would you like to read this email then?
You've kicked Jay off. You go and I'll do the next one.
All right. Kicked it off. The quaffle is loose. So no, the snitch is released. Even the quaffle was just thrown in the air.
The quaffle is released.
And the game begins.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. Dear Messrs. Clark and Moore. Sorry, I read that wrong. Dear Messrs. Moore and Clark. That was wishful thinking.
Nice.
Long-time reader of the podcast, occasional emailer. I know I'm late to this, but hang on. I know I'm late to this quite a bit, but congratulations, Simon, on submitting your thesis. I have myself been working very hard on my uni work. Deadline week is a bitch and can suck my scrotum. Yes, it can. Which is why I'm late in congratulating you on your life's work. I mean, it's the past 4 years, but it feels like my life's work, I'll be honest. Thank you very much. I also feel motivated to write this email to thank both of you for the excellent non-content the Wikicast trademark provides to readers. We really should trademark the Wikicast.
Yeah, we really need to.
I deliberately put off the most recent episode until last night as it gave me something to listen to on my 3-hour drive down from my hometown of Prydhoe, just west of Newcastle. No, I don't have the accent. To Manchester, somewhere south of 1935. Some might say that listening to the pair of you ramble for 3 hours would constitute cruel and unusual punishment, and to those people I say, you're absolutely right. You know, Jay, you get us. This is why this works, you know? Newcastle, that's the Geordie accent, isn't it? Is that the Hooey man?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Hooey, Jay. Hooey. Hooey. In all seriousness, no, it was nice to be able to listen to you two as it made the drive feel much less lonely, almost as if I was travelling with 2 old friends. Oh, friends! Aww. Sorry, that's just being... Oh, yeah, we're your friends. Of course we're your friends, but everyone who listens to this, we're your friends. You can trust us. Tell us your secrets.
Tell us everything.
So thank you very much for that. Anyway, I should be getting on with the last parts of my assignments as I spent far too long procrastinating. Your friend, Jay. P.S. I've attached my official artist's interpretation of the Archbishop of Banterbury. And what he's done here, which was my mistake here, there's a field with some lines crossing it, and there's a large oval loop which goes off from like a central plaza, which I now realise is the bishop's mitre. And not, in fact, a forehead, because he's then drawn a body underneath it, which looks like either a sectoid from XCOM Alien Unknown, XCOM Enemy Unknown, or UFO Defense, or a man with an extremely large forehead, or a man with a regular-sized head wearing a mitre. So that was my mistake, Dan, not actually a picture of you.
We have an email here from Can't Stop Me. It says, Dear Salmon and Can, I started reading the podcast after a friend of mine, Simon Clark. Oh, yeah, I know him. You might have heard of him. I think he went to school for a long time or something. Informed me on the 3rd of December 2017, 8:48pm GMT, that the podcast was, and I quote, pretty good. Since then, I've gone back and listened to previous episodes and found myself hooked. As a listener of the podcasts from 2009, I can, with my expert opinion, say this has quickly become one of my favourites. Oh, that's nice.
Wow, your taste has deteriorated, Taha. Yeah. Good grief.
In addition to every other waking moment, I listen to podcasts as I drift off to sleep in order to prevent my overactive brain from thinking itself awake all night. I also do this. Can totally relate.
I do that. I can barely sleep at the moment. I am constantly thinking of video ideas. It is really bad.
An issue with that I deal with in the absence of distractions. I usually reserve this time for podcasts about policy analysis, as it doesn't tend to excite my curiosity to the point of which I'm too interested to sleep, but manages to keep me distracted enough to fall asleep. On a related note, I'd be curious to hear when you guys tend to listen to podcasts, and also what types of podcasts you listen to. I always put a podcast or some kind of radio thing on when I get up in the morning and while I'm having a shower. I find it weird to shower in like silence, so whether it's music or just a podcast. And then also usually when I get home from work or uni and I'm like making dinner, I like to have something on in the background because it feels like I'm not alone.
Have you ever tried a shower beer, like having a beer in the shower?
Yes, I have a shower.
Is it good?
I have tea in the shower.
Of course you do, because you're you. But What was the beer like? Because the fact that it's cold whilst you're having a warm shower,
it's nice. It's kind of like that. It's like drinking in a pool or something.
Because I've always wanted to try it. I might do that today. You know what? When I have my shower, I'll take a tinny in with me, and that will. Oh, I've got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So I listen to podcasts if I am on the bus or the train or walking somewhere for more than 10 minutes or so. It's my preferred way because I get into habits when I listen to the same music over and over again. Although sometimes I listen to something new and then that will replace podcasts for a little bit. But I, generally speaking, will listen to stuff like Triforce, more or less, or In Our Time in particular. In Our Time's great for long journeys. So that's sort of when I'm traveling. I also tend to now listen to the Best of the Today program from Radio 4 when I get up. Because they do like 2 or 3 or 4 things a day. So it's nice just to kind of have them on in the background. And if you catch yourself listening to it, it's great because it's Radio 4 and you start feeling smarter. But equally, it's not a massive deal if you're not really paying attention.
Yeah.
And the other time I listen to long form ones. Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, that's all right. I agree.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And then the other time I listen to them is when I'm playing games. If I play like a city builder or something that the sound isn't terribly important, like Kingdoms and Castles, which you started playing, didn't you?
Yes, I played some just the other day. I'm on year 92, I think.
Oh, nice. So you're probably most of the way like through all the techs. Well, not techs, like the buildings.
Yeah.
So I listen to podcasts when I'm doing stuff like that, and that tends to be more like the Triforce, the Hello Internet, that kind of thing. Although I asked a bunch of people for recommendations in my latest vlog. I had so many recommendations, including the True Geordie channel, True Geordie podcast. Even No Such Thing as a Fish, which I've been recommended loads.
That's really good. I listened to that.
99% Invisible, which is about design. So you'd probably like that if you don't already listen to that one, Dan. I found one called The History of the English Language, which just sounded really interesting. I haven't listened to any of these yet. And then Serial, which I've been told by so many people to listen to.
Yes, I've listened to Serial. It's very good.
So yeah, that's generally when I tend to prefer the ones that are kind of long form. Like I could like a train journey, I'll listen to 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when and what.
He goes on to say, on this particular day, I'd run out of policy podcasts to listen to and decided to listen to the most recent episode of the Wikicast. As I was about to drift asleep, Simon rudely awakens me with a very loud rendition of I'm Gonna Be, 500 Miles by the Proclaimers. I was so surprised that I jumped out of bed, hit my head on the shelf above, and couldn't get up in the morning. No, he goes to say the interior designers for students' accommodation are clearly still undergrads and wasn't able to sleep for a good 45 minutes or so. In fact, I'm now writing this email still awake from the ordeal. So this is an official warning to Simon.
Sorry.
I'll be sending an invoice in the mail for compensation for my injuries for damages from any lectures I miss as a result of oversleeping tomorrow morning. Keep up the incredibly spongy and terrifically electric work. Best, Taha. Very and 1.5 years old. P.S. Any spelling mistakes are due to the concussion.
Okay, so perhaps this is another thing we should add to the Patreon. Any additional money past the Wikipedia donation will be used for our legal fees for damage inflicted due to listening to the podcast or lectures missed. I think we are going to need that because that's the first of many. Yeah, I'm very sorry, Taha. Taha, we'd like to point out we met at VidCon. He's a YouTuber and all-round top lad. I mean, we immediately were like, yeah, that's a ladmiral right there. I don't know what that word means yet, but he's a ladmiral.
That's one of them.
Big fan, Taha. Big fan.
We've got an email here from Tristan Hollink. It says, hi, Mrs. Moore and Clark. I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan of the podcast and thanks for doing them. They're really entertaining. To Simon, do you remember your your room tour vlog where you mentioned your nativity scene where you played the wise man. You said maybe it was possible to extract the video as a 100k sub special. Anyway, I wonder if I'm the only one to remember this, or I'm just one of a large group. Cheers, boys. Tristan.
I haven't forgotten. In fact, I wanted to ask you this, Dan. Did I leave the VHS tape of my nativity scene in Exeter?
You did. I can literally see it right now.
Okay, because that is the only reason why that isn't already on my channel, because I did promise that I was going to do a video, and part of that was going to be me as the wise man with my famous line, "Look, a star," with amazing acting ability.
Wow.
And I bring gold. Shh, the baby's sleeping. I don't know why the person who played Mary sounded like she'd been smoking for 20 years.
Jesus.
Shh, the baby's sleeping.
He's tired.
You got any more of that myrrh? Oh, God.
Jesus.
I scared myself.
Yeah.
Like a dog that's just farted itself awake.
Yeah.
Yes, so I haven't forgotten, and that will be happening when I come down to Exeter to pick up that tape. But yes, that is happening. And as a matter of fact, YouTube, the YouTube space in London, just tweeted at me saying congrats for getting 100,000 subscribers. And then lastly, we've all been waiting for him. It's final. It's that time of the podcast. It's Hecking Ready George!
Hey, he's back.
It's Ollie Mars!
Amazing.
George writes, Dear Chewy and Porg, I was listening to last week's episode of the Wikicast, as it's always good fun. I enjoyed listening to it a lot. That was until you reached your Star Wars review. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't that I disagreed with you, I was just confused. You talked about Yoda. I don't remember him being in this film. You talked about Luke Skywalker. I don't remember him being in it either. You talked about porgs, planets, and a whole plethora of things I don't remember in the slightest. All I remember is one scene, one pivotal and revolutionary scene. And then he's attached a picture of Ben Swallow.
It's amazing.
Adam Driver, who has a comically wide body in the first place, because he was a US Marine, let's not forget that. But this body has been digitally enhanced and widened to... He's like the Heavy from Team Fortress 2 now. Like ridiculously top heavy and a little pin head. And of course that is Ben Swallow. I can't blame you for that one, George, because it's stuck in my memory.
Yeah.
I mean, could you not find a towel or anything? But it says, that is all. Kind regards, Hecking Ready George. P.S. Well done on 0.1 mega subscribers. Nice. Thank you. I like that.
Nice.
Looks like nice is back on the menu, boys.
What about their linen?
They're fresh.
Amazing. Top work. Well done, everyone. Well done for getting through
I think this has been one of our best. And I have very bad taste.
Yes. So, Simon, what have we learned today?
We have learned, Dan, about a passable, some would say mediocre, Super Bowl game from the 90s called Tecmo Super Bowl 2 Special Edition. Barely released. So few copies, in fact, that they're very expensive now. And then we started talking about American football, us seeing the Super Bowl. We talked about shinty and hurling and all manner of Gaelic sports. We talked about... we had a package unboxing. Me getting Dungeons and Dragons. We rolled for our penises. For the record, it is now Wikicast canon that we both have small penises, but mine is bigger than Dan's. And we talked about me getting 100,000 subscribers, the fact that I met Andy Weir, the fact that we launched the Wikicast Patreon.
Hooray!
And for $1 a month, you can support us either for Team Cat or Team Dog. And we're not asking for very much. Again, we'd like to stress that we're not viewing this as our get-rich-quick scheme. This is literally just trying to cover our costs and hopefully make the podcast even better with merchandise.
Yeah. I had a very scary sneeze. I spoke about...
You did? Good grief.
I spoke about The End of the Fucking World and In Bruges as two great films. We touched briefly on Black Mirror and how Simon needs to watch it. Also, Man in the High Castle.
Yes.
It's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster today.
And some of our best, dare I say, some of our best correspondence this week.
Yeah, well done, readers. Fine work.
Well done. That's all for this week's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to us on your podcasting service of choice. You can like us on Facebook, and if you'd like to see our faces, check out our YouTube channel, Spongy and Electric.
Netflix advice for Simon, sneeze recommendations, and other thoughts on the show can be sent to us at spongyelectric@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Join us again for another tumble down the wiki rabbit hole, and we'll
see you next time. Fab.
Do you reckon they bought all the lies about the Patreon?
Yeah, it'll be fine.